Castaways, we are castaways. Avoid them.
What's up, YouTube? Today I thought I'd make a quick video about kind of how to make your own unique drum loops and percussion loops in Ableton. I've got a couple tricks I can show you guys, and hopefully they're helpful for you and your music. So let's check it out. So the first trick I'll show is using a vocoder to kind of make unique sounding percussion for kind of like, you know, background lighter percussion sounds, I would say. It's not going to be like your main drum line. I have these live drums that I recorded like years ago. So I think I'll maybe take this and use it as like my drum bass. Maybe we'll take like that chunk of it. So then right away, if I just throw the Ableton vocoder on this, we can really mess around with how it sounds. Always click this enhance button, put it to a modulator. Mess around with the depth. And the release too. Put the formant down a bit. See, with the range you can kind of make like an auto filter effect. Like something like that could kind of be cool for like an intro. And then even just once you have that, like changing the pitch with the transpose in Ableton too. Another one is using the noise in the vocoder. You can make some pretty unique sounding stuff with that. Maybe EQ it a bit for those lows. Put a little echo on maybe. And see, with something like that, it could be kind of cool to like modulate the depth in like an intro or a build up in a song. So you can see like if I started at 155% and then like bring it down to like 20, it'll probably be pretty crazy this quick, but you can see kind of what it's doing. Like kind of opens up and closes again. But yeah, like the main thing with the vocoder and what I do, as you can see, is like just mess around and try and get something that sounds cool. And again, it is kind of a lot better for like those background kind of more subtle percussion elements in a song, but it can be really helpful. And another trick too is like just beatboxing with your mouth. Like if you have any kind of recording device, you can even do it with your phone and then just import it into Ableton and just use the vocoder on your beatboxing, and you can make it sound like unique percussion elements, and it doesn't sound like your mouth making noises whatsoever. I've done that a couple times now, and it really works out better than you'd imagine. So next I'll also show you how to make a percussion loop with just one-shot samples. since not everyone might have like an actual drum set recording or even drum loops that they've made themselves yet or anything. So I'll show you how to make a decent loop with like just a one-shot sample. I'm gonna grab something from my mindysounds drum kit, maybe like a hi-hat, kind of like these ones maybe. So the main thing you want to do is just change the volume. And so basically, if you've got a loop, you can just start by, making a bunch of them. But then maybe the second one, like, bring it down in volume, put it down by 5, and then make every other hit down by 5. And then you can see already you've got like a little bit of a rhythm. Kind of sounds like a ticking clock. But like if you didn't do that, it would just sound like this. And it's just non-stop volume. And you can hear the difference. So having the volume be different definitely adds a lot to it. Then if we maybe bring in another noise here, bring it down a little. Maybe make a little different pattern, something like that. And then another great way to make stuff sound different and more unique, if they're just basic sounds, is using the frequency shifter in Ableton. If you just mess with the frequency or the fine meters here, you can make a percussion hit sound totally different. If you go really high, you kind of get into like too high of frequencies that you wouldn't really want to use, but I've kind of noticed that the fine meter is a better one to use for just like slightly changing your sound. Minus 135 hertz sounds pretty good. We're going to EQ this one too a bit. Put it right there. Ow. Take out some of that frequency because it sucks. And then once again, you can just kind of mess around with like some delay, give it a bit more going on. A little bit of distortion on that hit with the pedal from Ableton. And maybe on the whole thing to top it off, put this kilohertz bit crusher on it. Really been loving this thing lately. You put it at about 20 hertz. Just gives it a really nice kind of bit crushy filtered sound. And so there you go, you've got a solid percussion loop. This could even be kind of like a hi-hat loop. You know, if you have something like that and then you just kind of go to hi-hat loop. Let me see if I can get one. Hi-hats, loops. Yeah, something like this. Let me pull a kick and snare from my pack too. Yeah, so you can see how the layering of the percussion and the hats and drums and stuff kind of all comes together, and you can use these same kind of effects and tricks really on anything. Like, it works for kicks and snares and hi-hats and full drum loops, like to kind of take anything and make it more unique and give it a different sound. You know, I definitely recommend getting into the habit of like trying to alter your drum loops and stuff from other packs to kind of make them sound more your own in your production. If you want these sounds that I used, you can get my drum kit on my Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description. It's only $15 and there's over 100 samples in there, including like stuff for starting songs and melodies and all kinds of shit. So go check that out if you're a producer. And otherwise, that's all I got for you today. So I'll see you guys next week.